purpose of this special meeting tonight is to talk about the fire truck bids that we received for a custom pumper that we received this summer. Information I believe was received and placed on file by the council. Just to refresh everybody's recollection, this is truck number 1, and I just want to pass around the photos that we were given relating to the current status of the frame. This is a truck that will cost in the area of $400,000. So the fire department has applied for a grant from Homeland Security, the Federal Homeland Security Department. We don't know the status of that grant other than it has been received and is being reviewed. So, Chief, I wanted to sort of set the stage for the discussion. Did I pull too much of your thunder?
Are those the same pictures we looked at 2 years ago?
We haven't updated the pictures.
Why does that one say for the fire department?
The mayor has covered probably the first half of the first page that I typed up. I put together my thoughts and ideas and I put them in print only so that I wouldn't forget what I wanted to talk about and make sure that I got everything covered. The other reason was that way there I could hand it to the press and hopes that it's pretty close to what I said when I'm talking. I'm just picking on you, that's all.
Ow,
At the last council meeting, I'd asked to request for the new fire engine to be pulled from the agenda and asked to meet with you because of information and questions I had. As it stands now, the lowest bidder to meet our specifications is Sutphen with a cost of approximately $440,000. This figure does not include any new equipment for the vehicle. Recently, Mayor Hedgelon, First Deputy Chief Dowd, and myself met with representatives from the Sutphen Corporation to discuss the vehicle. Sutphen has agreed to hold the price for this vehicle until December 31st of this year. After that, there are new emission standards that will add approximately $25,000 to the cost, along with an approximate cost of $100 for every complete fuel tank, or every time we fill the fuel tank. As they'll have to add urea to the new emissions control. We'll also be looking at an 8 to 10% increase in just cost to manufacture the vehicle after January 1, 2010. Estimated cost between after January 1 is going to be an additional $39,000, and that's on the low side, based on Deputy Chief Dowd speaking with the Sutphen representative this afternoon. The new emission standards, again, will go into effect on all new diesel-powered vehicles that the city will buy, and any other municipalities. It's all across the United States. So when individuals get ready to buy those larger vehicles, they're going to get stuck with the new standards and the new equipment attached to it. In May of this year, you gave me the go-ahead to apply for a Homeland Security grant for up to $400,000. Within the grant application, I requested $300,000 in cost sharing for the replacement of the old fire engine. As of this date, I have not heard from DHS. I have been in contact with Senator Schumer's office, with their reply being the award process for 2009 grants has not yet started. If we order the vehicle before the end of the year, we won't receive it much before the spring of 2011. The downside of not replacing this vehicle is it will reduce our initial water supply for areas without hydrants by 25%. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it affects 317 residential properties and 17 commercial buildings. We will have approximately 1,500 gallons of water upon arrival, with an approximate time frame of 6.7 minutes of fire suppression activity with the water we got. We would also have to utilize additional outside agencies, increasing our liability. Under New York State mutual aid laws, when we call in mutual aid, we're responsible for all their equipment. So if anything happens while they're en route to our fire, we bought it. Having two engines carrying 1,000 gallons of water each will give us 8.9 million of fire suppression time. That's one hand line at approximately 225 gallons a minute. If we don't replace it, and yet, if we don't replace it, and the engine we have 1,000 gallons of water on it is out of service for any reason, it would cut us back to less than 3 minutes of suppression. The two other vehicles we have that carry water carry a total of 800 gallons between them. There's 500 on engine 2, and there's 300 on the tower. So all we would have is 800 gallons available to the outside district that has no hydrants. The difference in minutes might not sound like a big deal, but when you understand the science of fire and know that fire doubles in size every 30 seconds, it means a great deal to us. Being the city will more than likely have to bond for this, the first payment will come due sometime in 2011. After talking with the comptroller and reviewing the projected numbers, bonding for the full amount of this vehicle will mean a 2% tax increase in 2011. I'm not overly enthused by what I'm seeing from the comptroller's projected numbers for 2010, 11, and 12. And part of what kind of bothers me is the fact that, based on the numbers the comptroller has given us, we've had an idea this problem was coming since 2006. And until last year's tax increase, it was the only significant proposed revenue increase. The only other significant proposed revenue increase was through sales tax. Now with the downturn in the economy, the revenue gap is slightly larger. After submitting my 2010 budget, I was given a memo to make an attempt to reduce my 2010 budget to a level 5% below my 2009 budget. I made some significant cuts in my budget, but they come with a warning. If we were hit with a bad year, large fires, storms, equipment breakdowns, injured personnel, or several retirements, I'll need to come back to the council for additional funding. I feel it's my job to see that the citizens of the city and its visitors are provided with the best protection possible, and at the same time look out for the safety of our firefighters. If it is decided that additional cuts are needed, I have nothing left to cut but personnel. My question to you is this: what is your game plan to increase the revenues within the budget short of a large tax increase? I don't expect an answer tonight. One thing that concerns me a great deal is if purchasing the new vehicle will add a 2% tax increase to the tax rate, there is a chance it may result in more reductions within the budget, which would mean having to look at personnel. It's one of those damned if you do and damned if you don't.